Hello, Steve Arts 89. With all this talk of box office in relation to a recent movie, I just wanted to talk about box office in general because I think we need to get some perspective. Because something I've seen happen in my lifetime, which is very unsettling, is the way we, not so much in the media, but fans and the general sort of audience, look at box office. Whenever a film is announced, people talk about, oh, what's the box office? How's it going to do at the box office? And I really don't think we should be caring about that on that level. That's a studio issue. If they make money or not, that's their problem. We shouldn't really care about that, and we shouldn't judge a film based on if the studio made money out of it. That's very much some indoctrination from the studios that we should be taking on their issues and promoting, things for them and it's just a real studio mentality. And we're not the studio. We don't make money out of this film. We don't get anything or lose anything if this film profits or doesn't profit. If we love a film and it bombs, it doesn't affect us at all. If we hate a film and it's the biggest film in Hollywood, it doesn't affect us at all. So what really matters? What really matters is how many people see the film. That's what matters, not how much it makes, because that varies with inflation, ticket prices, all these elements. Does it, particularly with opening box office weekends, did it get Thursday previews? Once upon a time, films would just open on Friday. Then they started opening after midnight on Thursday, and then it went to 10, and then now basically the Thursday is just part of the weekend box office a lot of the time, which is kind of cheating. You're getting an extra day in there. They used to do that with long weekends and holidays, but we knew that was the Labor Day weekend. There was an extra day sort of thing. So they're getting a bit sneaky with stuff like that. Now I'm hearing previews are starting on the Wednesdays, and it's like they're just really trying to get those extra days in and just get it in, because you've got to get the numbers in, the people in, before the word gets out, because if it's bad, they're not coming back. And a lot of films make all their money in the first couple of weekends, which is kind of sad, because once upon a time films like Titanic would stay in the cinema for 6 months. I think I saw that film like 6 months after it originally came out, one of the last times I saw it. Star Trek The Motion Picture, I think, was in the cinema for like 6 months or a year or something. Star Wars, same thing. People just kept coming back and coming back and coming back. That was partly because once it went out of the cinema, you didn't see it again for a couple of years until it came on TV or then later video. Yes, some perspective. I need to get some in this video. But so the main issue is how many people see the film, not how much it makes, because that varies. Like even just a few years ago, ticket prices were the average $13. Now they're $15. And with inflation, you look at an old film, it made $100 million, doesn't sound very impressive, but considering when it was made and the ticket prices with inflation today, it could have made more money than its contemporaries. So it really doesn't matter. And a lot of people say, oh, you can't add inflation, that's cheating. I'm like, no, not including inflation. To say, oh, this new film made $200 million, so it's better than that old film that made $70 million. When adding inflation, that made like 300. So it's kind of cheating, and just a lot of people just use it both ways. But the real sort of thing that bothers me is that people focus on the profitability. It's like, well, this film cost $300 million, it made $500 million, but it's a failure because it didn't make money for the studio. No, it made $300 million. A lot of people saw it. It was a success. We shouldn't care about the profitability. If a film costs $500 million and makes $1 billion, and the studio loses $200 million because they don't get all the international money. And a lot of people are funny. They'll say, oh, this film cost $150 million, but it just made $170 million. It's a hit. And I'm like, oh my God, you don't understand that in different markets, the studios only get 30-40% of the box office. In China, it's as low as 25. So that makes $100 million in China. They only get 25 million of it. So people look at like a box office of 500 million for a film that costs 250 million, and they think it's made a bunch of money when it hasn't even made its money back. So, but we shouldn't care about that. But the problem is that people don't even understand how that works. They're looking at the profitability and they don't even understand how it actually works. So that's another reason to just ignore that and just focus on how much money it made, and then from that assumption and estimate how many people actually saw it. That's the first sort of test of success for a film. The second is if there's good word of mouth, if people come back for reviewings, if people come in because someone told them it was good, or if there is a sequel, does it do as well because people who like the first one come back for the second one? Because we've seen where a film did okay in the box office and then it went to video and streaming and people found it and loved it and went back for the sequel, and the sequel made more money than the first film. That's happened a bunch of times. Even back in the day with Austin Powers, it wasn't a big hit in the cinema, then everyone saw it on video, loved it, and the next film was huge. That happens as well. Normally goes the other way though, because everyone gets marketed, oh, this is going to be great. They go and like, meh. And some people love it. The people who loved it come back and maybe take some friends, but a lot of people who went meh in the first, screening, they don't go back for the sequel. So yeah, but I just think we need to get a bit of perspective on box office, and really we should just be caring about how many people go to the film, how many people like the film, not the budget, not the inflation, not the profitability, not what the studios want us to think or whatever. Just did we see it? Did we like it? Is it part of our cultural experience now, and so forth? That should be the real measure of a film. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of box office issues and